Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm gonna be trying Night Owl Lacquer for the first time. So I ended up picking up this little haul of 5 assorted shades from different collections, different years, just the 5 shades that really spoke to me from the website, which I will have linked down below, but as a little FYI, they are currently down because I think they were moving, so hopefully it will be back soon, but yeah, it still will be down below in the description box. And if you do remember, a couple of weeks ago, I did do a little poll to see which video you'd want to see first, either my review of Night Owl Lacquer or my review of nail polys, and it was super close. I think it was like 51 to 49%, so almost 50-50. Nail polys just won by like the smallest margin. And I did mean to have this video up sooner, but I figured you might want to see the Island Pea video first, so I decided to prioritize that one. Unfortunately, I actually don't have comparisons this time around. I didn't think I would have any that are similar to these shades, but now that I think about it, there's a few shades I could have shared that were like kind of the same vibe, so I'll probably do comparisons in my stories or something else. But yeah, let's just get into the swatches. So I'm going in order from lightest to darkest, and the first shade we have is Fall is Amazing, and this is from the Fall 2021 collection. This is almost like a muted or pastel mustard or corn colored base with gold shimmer and a scattered hollow micro glitter. The formula on this one was a little bit more on the crelly side, but still very full coverage, so I did only have a few light spots near the sides or base of my nail, but other than that, I was pretty impressed with how pigmented the base was. I thought it might be a little bit more sheer because it's kind of a lighter shade. This ended up building up beautifully on 2 coats where I would say it's like 98% opaque. Maybe in certain angles of light you can see some nail line, but it wasn't enough for me to do a 3rd coat. So I really liked how soft and pretty this one is. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the typical mustard yellow for fall, but I found this muted one to be super flattering, especially with that sparkle. Next we have Pumpkin Carving, and this is from the Holotivities collection. This is a bright orange jelly packed with iridescent flakes and shards that glow from orange to golden yellow and green, but I think there's also these smaller flakes that kind of flash to red or magenta, so there's definitely a really shifty and glowy flaky mix in this polish. So as I mentioned, this one has a jelly base, so it's very translucent and squishy looking on the first coat, giving it an almost candy-like effect, but it does build up really nicely on 2 coats. Maybe the base itself isn't fully opaque, but there's just so much going on with those flakies that it kind of obscures the nail line. So again, this is one that I personally would wear in 2 coats because it's nearly fully opaque. I just love the glow that this one has. It looks so dimensional with all of those flakies layered up. It is super, super pretty. Now getting into the darker shades, the next one that I grabbed was Windswept, and this is from the More Fall Feels collection. This is a charcoal gray base with magenta and copper shimmer as well as metallic microflakes. So this one has another crelly leaning formula similar to the first one, so it is a bit sheer on the first coat, but I found that it was a lot more opaque on the 2nd coat, likely because it has such a darker base. But even though it is darker, it doesn't necessarily cover up any of the shimmer or those metallic flakies. Like, they don't get lost at all in the base. They still stand out and glow, which I think is so, so beautiful. I'm especially a fan of the contrast between a darker base and a brighter kind of pop of shimmer or metallic color on top. And this one just perfectly captures those moody, windy days where you hear the rustling of leaves. It is such a great fall color. I really love this one. The next shade I have is called Heart of a Witch, and this is from the Potion Ingredients collection, which a lot of you recommended I check out. I'm pretty sure when I did my favorite flakies video, there's just so many gorgeous polishes in this line, but this one immediately caught my eye because of that rich, dark eggplant purple base that is filled with these iridescent blue micro shimmer and flakies, except I actually think some of the flakies are metallic. Like, some of them are iridescent because they do shift to magenta, which is really beautiful, but then others have such a strong, almost reflective shine to them, so that makes me think of metallic flakies as opposed to the glow in iridescent ones. I could totally be wrong though, but either way, this is such a gorgeous polish. I think it is absolutely perfect for Halloween. If you watched my Halloween favorites video, you know that I love spooky purple jellies like this, especially with a glowing blue shimmer in there. It is just so pretty, so I really enjoy this one too. And the last shade that I picked up was Scary Stories, and this was also from the Holotivities collection. This was actually the first one that I saw on the website that convinced me I needed to do a little haul. There's just something so beautiful about this finish. It has me so entranced. It kind of is like a black crelly base with this multi-chrome shimmer that shifts from a smoky, almost pastel purple to a bright red in indirect light, which I will show at the end. But there's also this really beautiful purple metallic microflake that's in that similar almost pastel kind of color. It just looks so beautiful to me. I feel like I've just never really seen this kind of color combination, let alone the specific shade of purple in the shimmer and microflakies. So I just think it is so beautiful. It's just perfectly eerie, but still really pretty, which is so up my alley because I actually hate being scared. So as long as I can have something that is a little spooky but still pretty, I am all for it. So here it is with the adjusted lighting so you can see that red shimmer, and I just love the contrast with that pastel purple flaky on top. It is gorgeous. So that wraps up my first time trying Night Owl Lacquer. So overall, I really enjoyed my little haul. I mean, I think they're so perfect for the fall season, the cooler weather, whether it's like spooky season or just fall in general. I really love these shades. They had so many beautiful shades on their website, so hopefully that will be open back soon enough. Overall, I had a great experience with them. I feel like the formulas were really nice. They were pretty much opaque for me on two coats. Like, some of them are a little bit sheer, but I don't mind visible nail line. So if you use a blurring base coat, that'll probably solve the opacity issue if you aren't a fan of seeing your nail line, or you're just not really that much of a fan of sheer kind of shades. But as far as the darker ones go, they definitely were like really opaque on two coats, so I doubt many people would need a third. I think the only kind of complaints that I have, if we can call it that, are just the brush. I'm not the biggest fan of. Not that it's a bad brush, like it's not a skinny brush, but it's just kind of your typical flat, you know, blunt edge one, kind of like OPI brushes. And I just don't love those. I feel like I don't get a nice like clean application, especially around like the cuticle area. So it can be like a little bit messy. I'm just heavily biased towards like the rounded paddle brushes. I think those are just the best ones. And I guess the only other thing I'll mention is that I can see how some of the formulas might feel a little bit thick. Not necessarily goopy, maybe over time if they start to dry out a little bit, they might get that way. But with like the orange, for example, that had so many flakies in it. So I can see it being a little bit finicky to work with, but overall the flakies just laid flat. But I think when it comes to like removal, you might want to use a peel off base coat with some of these, because they could either require a little bit of elbow grease to get off, especially like the micro glitters in the first shade, or even just like the tiny micro flakes in that gray polish, where they just kind of like get in your skin, you know what I mean? So it's not necessarily hard to remove, but just annoying. So yeah, overall, I'm a big fan of Night Owl Lacquer. I would hope to try a couple more of them soon. I mean, now that I have my fourth Helmer, I definitely have some room to grow, But yeah, I really love these shades that I picked up. So let me know if you've tried Night Owl Lacquer before. And again, thank you to all the people who have recommended them before. Anytime you guys give recommendations, like I do write them down and I'll have this little like ongoing wish list. So right now I'm hoping to maybe make some purchases during Black Friday when there's sales. But for these, I just was so in love with them right away that I was like, it's like the perfect time to try them out, you know? So hopefully I will get around to some other suggestions. I definitely have Alchemy Lacquer on my list, and I would love to do some other little hauls for brands that I have tried already, but I'm still like new to, like Potion Polish or Lumen or Ethereal. I think they just have such beautiful shades, but we'll see how those Black Friday deals are. But yeah, let me know if you have a favorite from these or just what your favorite Night Owl Lacquer is. Please leave any recommendations down below or just leave any thoughts down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.